Hey guys, my name is Dylan with the anime summary. During the fight, Ray knocks away Miss Gray onto the ground. Professor Gray uses fire magic but has zero effect on Ray. Gray is confused on why any of her attacks are working. Miss Gray then launches a massive fireball at Ray, but he evaporates the fireball in quick fashion. Ray informs Miss Gray that Ice Sorcerer uses deceleration that not many other people can possess in being able to revert any spell back into their respective material, also known as the anti-material code. Professor Gray tries one final attempt using all of the Dark Triad mind infiltration magic attacking Ray. Ray uses his ice swords to nullify all of her attacks. Gray notices from fighting that Ray isn't fully in control of the Iceblade sorcery he has obtained. Ray makes his final move using his Ice Bloom Profusion to successfully freeze Professor Gray. Ray notices his friends approaching him, glad that he was able to protect them, and passes out. Ray then wakes up in the infirmary room being greeted by Lydia next to his bed. Ray apologizes for using Chronos Lock, but Lydia says he doesn't have to say sorry and would have done the same thing given the situation. Abby reports to Ray that no one was hurt and that they had just lost slight magic. Before Lydia leaves, she tells Ray to visit her once again, and when he has time, then she leaves the room. Carla whispers in Ray's ears that Lydia was really worried about him, then walks away as well. Abby tells Ray that she was against him attending the academy at first, being the first ever ordinary student, assuming Ray would be unhappy at school. Abby recalls the time where Lydia makes a pitch about her having Ray attend the academy, wanting him to have a normal life and experience with the good and the bad. Outside, Lydia is crying tears of joy, glad that Ray is okay. Ray starts crying, happy to have caring people around him. Evi, Elisa, Amelia, and Clarice all go inside to check on Ray to make sure he's okay. Ray apologizes to them about keeping the secret that he was the Iceblade Sorcerer, also stating that in the previous war that he was in, he overheated in the final battle, losing control of his engram. Ray's friends being shocked about the whole ordeal. They support Ray for everything that he's been going through in life and will respect him as a great friend regardless. Later that night in the infirmary room, Albert appears and Ray questions why he is visiting him so late at night. Albert apologizes to Ray, taking everything he said back about him. Ray accepts his apology and acknowledges that his apology was honest and sincere. Albert demands to know what makes him so strong and to never stray away from his goals. He replies, stating that effort and being at the right place at the right time is crucial to becoming successful. Albert tears up, upset at what he's done his whole life, and thanks Ray for the advice. The next day at the academy, Carol, the new teacher replacing Professor Gray, also the person who recommended to Lydia to adopt Ray as their child. She goes over the Magic Chevalier tournament, being that it is a sword fighting tournament where it's between the 3 sorcery academies, stating that the first-year students will be facing off against each other in the rookies bracket, with the second and third-year students partaking in the main tournament. Then she shows that the tournament will function with 16 contestants selected from 3 of the academies, informing them that since Rebecca won the tournament last year that they will have 6 spots instead of 5 for this year's tournament. Carol then tells the students that the DM Academy specializes in fighting, with the Macross Academy specializing in sorcery research. Carol ends the lesson telling them that the qualifiers to participate in the tournament will now begin. In the courtyard, Clarice questions Ray on who will win the next match, with Ray replying with the female student not knowing her name, assessing that the girl possesses a higher code and accuracy than the guy. The female student wins the duel, and Clarice is creeped out at the fact that Ray knew who was going to win the match within the first 3 seconds. Ray tells her at the level that they were fighting at, 3 seconds is enough time to determine who the winner will be. The next match starts between Amelia and a male student. Amelia wins the duel easily within the first 6 seconds. Ray notices that Amelia isn't thinking about the match, having a poor expression on competing. Amelia recalls her conversation with her dad that he expects big things from the tournament, being the eldest daughter of the House of Rose. He tells her that losing to Irene, her old friend and a fellow noble, is unacceptable. Ray goes to see Rebecca and they have a conversation about Irene being selected already as one of their representatives from the DM Academy. Rebecca tells Ray that despite coming from royal families, Amelia and Irene are quite different. Dina informs Ray that the one time she saw her practice, she was amazed by how spectacular her movement was. Rebecca tells Ray that Irene is a really good fighter, but Amelia will put up a good fight against her. The final match between Albert and Amelia begins, with Amelia using her special magic to win the duel against Albert. Having won all of her matches, Amelia advances to the Magic Chevalier tournament in first. Following Amelia, Albert qualifies in second, happy about everything going on in his life. Amelia leaves the match knowing that she needs to meet everyone's expectations. The next day in the afternoon, while Amelia is walking, Ray appears in front of her. Ray questions if she wants to become strong and could train her with the tournament only being less than 1 month away. Ray shows her the bootcamp training book Lydia gave him for his special training to become strong. He tells Amelia that they will be using it for her as well. Ray motivates Amelia, saying that the training will be super rough, but at the end will make her stronger in order to take down Irene. Amelia recalls her time as being a kid, being friends with Irene. They both thank each other for being great friends. Irene hugs Amelia, being joyful that no matter what happens, they will always be each other's best friend. Then when they are older, they square off face to face, Irene taking her out with one swing and instantly winning the duel. Irene goes over to Amelia, lending a hand to her, but Amelia rejects her offer, walking away, ruining their friendship. Amelia lays in bed, realizing that being a noble is hard and that she has to do everything in order to survive. The next day, Ray tells Amelia that he will be her instructor for the following days. He then orders her to run 20 kilometers without using any sort of body enhancement magic. She starts her run and by the end of it falls to the ground exhausted. Later back at the academy, Amelia is passed out at her seat, tired from the training Ray has put her through. After Amelia fantasizes about Ray, she is woken up by him at the window, smashing pans together. Outside, Dina confronts Ray for being up so early, making noise to wake them up. Ray apologizes for waking them up and compliments them on how beautiful they are. From the distance, Ray notices Amelia trying to get out of training for the day. She runs away from Ray, and at the garden he notices Albert sitting alone on a bench. Albert tells Ray that he wants to know how to become even stronger, having second thoughts in his mind. Ray replies saying that he's already gotten stronger without even realizing it, telling him to trust his opinion. The next morning, Amelia is running fast with Elisa and Clarice watching, finishing her run and beating her previous time. A girl appears congratulating Amelia on her hard work. Elisa, Clarice, and Amelia notice the girl and have no clue who she is. When the girl passes by Rebecca and Dina, they notice the uniform that belongs to the Dion Academy and being called Senpai. The girl reveals herself to be Ray in a disguise to blend in at the Dion Academy. At the academy, Ray is hiding under a box and notices a girl crying beside him. She emerges out of the box and they stare at each other intently. At the academy, everyone notices Ray holding the little girl's hand and recalls from their first encounter that she couldn't find her older sister. Girls stare at Ray, noticing how beautiful he is, not knowing that he's disguised as a girl. The little girl points over to the girl, being Irene. While the little girl is distracted, Irene cuts to the chase and knows that Ray is not from the same academy as her. Ray talks in his real voice, surprising Irene, and tells her his real name, also being that he attends the Arnold Academy of Sorcery. Irene recalls hearing him be the first ordinary student attending and has accomplished many great battles. Irene challenges Ray to a duel and they square off against each other face to face. Neither side backs down, being evenly matched against one another. She uses a special technique on Ray and he loses the duel to her. When her sister is picked up by her mom, Ray compliments on how beautiful she is, flustering her. Ray tells her that she's been helping Amelia with her training and that she will defeat her. At the tournament, Abby announces to everyone that all the fighters standing before her and have fought to be there are courageous, declaring the official start of the Magic Chevalier tournament. In the hallway of the arena, Irene and Amelia greet each other. Irene and Amelia both make a promise to each other to make the final round of the Rookies tournament. The first match of the semifinals begins between Shine of the Macross Academy of Sorcery and Amelia. Abby tells them that she'll be in charge of the duel, informing them that the rules are simple: either a player wins by knocking their opponent off the platform or destroy the rose located on their own chest. The fight opens with Shine charging fiercely at Amelia. Amelia dodges his attacks, then from the ground, fire lashes at Shine, destroying his flower. Amelia wins the duel and is heading to the finals. In the waiting room, Albert is preparing mentally for his match up against Irene when Ray comes in to give him his flower. The duel begins at a fast pace between Irene and Albert. Irene uses her magic and knocks Albert onto the ground. Albert, on the ground hurt and knowing the risk, recalls the conversation with Ray to accept change and can be a new person at any time. He charges at Irene and takes out her sword. Before getting in the last hit to win the match, she uses magic to knock him out of the arena, winning the duel. While Ray is walking in the hallway in the dark, a strange monster is lurking behind him, watching him. Once at the end of the hallway, Ray is greeted by Abby, Lydia, and Carol, telling him and Lexi, Carla's brother, that the Grim Reapers have infiltrated the tournament and to be on the lookout for them. while Ray and Eva are watching Rebecca's match, assuming that she's going to win the tournament again. Elisa and Clarice appear from the entrance of the arena and inform Ray that Amelia isn't feeling well and won't leave her room. The match in front of them finishes in just 2 seconds, being if not one of the fastest matches in history, the winner being Lucas Forst. While walking away from the match, Lucas and Ray glance eyes, feeling a strange aura around each other. Later that night, Amelia is lying in her room when Ray is at her door requesting to come into her room to have a chat. She opens the door and inside, Amelia tells Ray that everything she's been doing was just an act from everyone's expectations of her. Amelia informs Ray that she's been hurting deep down inside, going through everything in life. Not believing in herself to be able to defeat Rainey, in tears, wanting to have a purpose in life. Ray grabs her and motivates her that nothing in life really has a true meaning, but humans can always find a reason to live, having friends to support each other through the goals. Ray tells Amelia that he wants to live by her side. In bed, when Amelia falls asleep, she grabs on tightly to Ray's hand, wanting him to be by her side. The next day at the tournament, the final round between Rainey and Amelia is underway. They both unleash their full power and go all out against each other. Ray heads underneath the stadium, being told that students have been captured by the Grim Reapers, and goes to Clarice to make sure she's okay. The Grim Reapers appear behind Ray and he picks up Clarice, carrying her through the stadium. Ray activates his Chronos lock to defend themselves against the Grim Reapers. He then uses a force field to scout all of them around the area, freezing all of them at once, shocking Clarice. Back at the fight, Rainey uses Ogre, powering herself up with magic. She gets behind Amelia, knocking her to the ground. Then she uses her quick speed to get behind her, launching Amelia into the sky onto the edge of the platform hurt. Just before Amelia is about to give up, Ray screams at her to get up, giving her motivation. She unleashes her true powers and butterfly effect to hopefully defeat Rainey once and for all. If you guys like what you saw, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.